Hey, it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio, and today we take a look at hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now the piece I've written for you this week will focus on using our index and ring fingers to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, an essential skill for any style of music you want to play. So let's dive right in and see what the piece I just played is all about. So zooming into my hands here, we're going to start off with our low E string as our first note, okay, the root note. Now this progression is set up on a 12-bar blues just to make it really simple. We're going to start with that low E string, and then we're going to start from there a hammer-on from 5 to 7, okay, with our index to the ring. So we're going to play the open 6th string, which is an E. We're going to play a D note on the A string, fret number 5, with our index finger. We're going to hammer on with that ring finger. So we're not picking when that ring finger comes down. Okay, now the next string, same thing, 5 to 7, which is the G note to the A note. Then we're going to do a pull-off, okay, so we're going to do a hammer-on, and then pull off. Now the pull off term is misleading because if I just pull straight off, that made a sound there, but usually there's not much of a sound involved. So what we want to do is sort of pluck downwards with that finger. So we're going to hammer on and pull down towards the floor, almost like plucking it with your fretting hand, okay? So we have back to the E and G, so 7th fret A string, 5th fret D string, and then we do a pull off from 7 to 5 on the A string, so ring to index. Okay, next up we're going to play the ring finger on the 7th fret of the low E, the B note. And then a hammer on from 5 to 7 on the A string. Now the benefit here, you can do all down picks if you want. The benefit here is that we don't have to pick as much. If you watch my picking hand, I'm essentially doing alternate picking throughout that. Alright, so whatever works for you, if you do all down picks, that works too. Whatever's going to allow you to play through this, but I'm minimizing my pick strokes as much as I can. The second time around, I do the same thing, but I add an A note, so the 5th fret on the low E string at the end. Alright, so we have, and then, right, pretty cool at the end there. And then I repeat that again. Now, if I picked all the notes, you get this. I mean, it works, but it's not as cool as because we have notes that are really heavy, notes that are soft. You get that legato phrasing in there, so that makes it really sound different, right? It changes the feel and the effect that the notes give. So that is our first part on the E chord, E minor chord. So we play that riff twice, or both riffs twice, because we have the first half of the riff and the second half. We're now going to move it up to an A. We're going to play an A note, and we're just going to shift everything up 5 frets. So we're going to go to the 10th fret as a starting point. So we're going to play 10, 12 on the A string, 10, 12, 10 on the D string, 12 on the A string, 10 on the D string, 12, 10 on the A string, 12 on the low E, and then 10, 12 on the A string. Oh, here, the open A. Second time around, we add that extra note with the index finger, which is a D note on the low E, 10th fret. So the only thing different there, excuse me, we're playing the same pattern with our fingers, same sequence, but we're starting with the open A. Back to our original phrase. Okay, so the two halves right there on the E note. We're going to go to a B next, a B minor, because in the minor blues here, B minor would be the next chord. Now I'm going to miss that first note because there's not an easy way to play that B note that I want to add in. So I basically just do a rest, and then I do the same phrase we did for the A, 2 frets higher. But I'm going to change up, instead of the 14th fret on the low E, we're going to play 15. So it's going to go 12, 14 on the A, 12, 14, 12 on the D, 14 on the A, 12 on the D, 14, 12 on the A, 15 on the low E. Okay? Then I'm playing 12, 14 on the A string. So res. Then when we go back to the A, which is the next part, so this is the B, or the B minor, I should say. Going back to the A minor, we're going to do a rest again, rest, and play the phrase we did before. So it's the same thing we did before, just missing that first note. I just did that to make it seamless with that B minor section. So rest, and then back to E. Alright, now so a quick add-on here. I was watching through the demo video and I realized I didn't explain the ending correctly. So here's just a recap of the very end of the song, because I showed it just basically repeating the main phrase. But at the very end, the very last part on the E, our main phrase, and then the second half at the end, instead of going like that, I'm actually going to go further. I go, that's the first part, right? And then we have, so that's the ending right there. That's the correct ending. And so the original way I had it down, which is the way I showed it to you there, is not the way that I recorded it. So here we go. So we're going to do the second half, does the hammer-on pull-off, and then it goes, so we're going to go 7, 9 on the D string, 7 on the G string, back to 9 on the D string, and then hammer on from 7 to 9 on the G string. So hammer on, 7 to 9, and 7 to 9 at the end. Then I slide out. Okay, so just to make sure that that's clear, the very end there that I explained originally, cutting it off now just to give you this part to make sure the ending is completely clear. So really what we're trying to work on here is just that index, ring finger, hammer on, because those are the two most common fingers for this skill. And we're trying to use fretted notes here. So take your time with it, even just to get that first phrase. And then you can move it on up from there, okay? So that A, the E minor chord, twice, right? And just to add on to that, making sure you know that those are all minor chords, E minor, A minor, and B minor, okay? So have fun with that. If you have any questions about the hammer-on pull-off technique, let me know. But that's a fun blues-focused way to practice these hammer-ons without it sounding too bluesy, right? It sounds more on the rock side of things. But we're using the 12-bar blues just to make it easy and consistent to move things up and down. So enjoy that. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. More videos like this each week coming your way. And don't forget to ring that bell so you know when a new video comes in. See you soon.